Right now, somewhere in the Pacific Ocean, a United States Navy aircraft carrier is cutting through the waves with weapons so advanced they can strike targets more than 300 miles away before the enemy even realizes they are under attack. These are not science fiction weapons from Hollywood movies. These are real combat systems already deployed aboard operational carrier strike groups within the last year. And 5 of these weapons are so powerful, they are changing the entire balance of naval warfare. China knows about them. Russia knows about them. And military planners around the world are paying very close attention. For decades, United States Navy aircraft carriers have been the foundation of American military power. But what truly makes these ships dangerous is not just their massive size or their nuclear reactors. It is the advanced technology hidden across their flight decks, inside their combat systems, and deep within their weapons bays. In just the last few years, naval warfare technology has evolved at an incredible pace. Weapons that seemed impossible only 5 years ago are now fully operational. In 2025, the United States Navy deployed new systems that most people still know almost nothing about. These are not prototypes. They are active weapons currently operating aboard fighter aircraft and warships in the Pacific Ocean, the South China Sea, the Mediterranean, and the Red Sea. Together, these 5 weapons represent some of the most lethal firepower ever placed aboard a floating military base. And every one of them was built for a single purpose: maintaining America's military advantage at sea. If you believe the United States still operates the most powerful military force in the world, leave a comment below and show your support for the sailors, pilots, and crews serving around the globe every day. AIM-174B Gunslinger. Let's start with a weapon that did not even exist publicly just a few years ago. It is called the AIM-174B, and the United States Navy gave it the nickname Gunslinger. That nickname is not just for style. The AIM-174B is believed to be the longest-range air-to-air missile ever carried by an American fighter aircraft. Estimates place its range at more than 300 miles, giving it reach far beyond the missiles normally carried by the Lockheed Martin F-35 Lightning II or the Lockheed Martin F-22 Raptor. And this is where things become truly dangerous. The AIM-174B is based on the Standard Missile-6, or SM-6, a powerful missile originally designed to launch from United States Navy warships for fleet air defense. The Navy modified that missile for air launch, allowing Boeing F/A-18E/F Super Hornets to carry it beneath their wings. That means a single carrier-based fighter can now launch an attack from hundreds of miles away and destroy enemy aircraft long before they ever get close to the carrier strike group. The weapon first drew public attention during the Rim of the Pacific exercises in 2024, when photographs appeared showing Super Hornets from the USS Carl Vinson carrying the massive missiles. At first, many analysts assumed the missile was only experimental, but later the Navy confirmed the AIM-174B was fully operational. The missile has since been associated with Carrier Air Wing 5 in Japan, placing it close to some of the most strategically sensitive regions in the Pacific, including the Taiwan Strait. And that matters for a very important reason. China has spent years developing long-range air-to-air missiles, such as the PL-15 and PL-17, to push American aircraft carriers farther away from contested areas. The AIM-174B changes that equation completely. Instead of remaining outside Chinese missile range, American fighters can now engage enemy surveillance aircraft, airborne early warning platforms, and support aircraft from distances China did not expect. Without those support aircraft, enemy fighter coordination and air defense coverage become dramatically weaker. But the AIM-174B is not limited to air combat. The missile can also engage surface ships and land targets, giving carrier aircraft a flexible long-range strike capability far beyond traditional air-to-air missions. It carries a much larger warhead than standard fighter-launched missiles and travels at speeds approaching Mach 3.5, making interception extremely difficult. Reports also suggest the Navy is exploring versions capable of engaging hypersonic threats, and that is what makes the AIM-174B so important. It is not simply another missile added to the arsenal. It changes the battlefield itself. Enemy aircraft can no longer rely on distance for protection, because United States Navy fighters are now capable of striking targets from ranges once reserved for major ship-based air defense systems. That is a major shift in modern naval warfare. The F-35C Lightning II with AGM-158C long-range anti-ship missile. Now let's move to something even more advanced, the Lockheed Martin F-35C Lightning II. Most people have heard of the F-35 program, but the F-35C variant was built specifically for aircraft carrier operations. It features larger wings, reinforced landing gear, and a strengthened tailhook system designed for repeated launches and recoveries at sea. But what truly makes the F-35C dangerous is not just the aircraft itself. It is the weapon it carries. In 2025, the United States Navy completed operational testing of the AGM-158C long-range anti-ship missile, better known as LRASM. This is a stealth cruise missile specifically designed to destroy enemy warships from distances exceeding 200 miles. The F-35C Lightning II can carry two AGM-158C long-range anti-ship missiles externally, or carry weapons internally when maintaining stealth is critical to the mission. And this is where things become extremely dangerous for any opposing navy. Unlike older anti-ship missiles that rely heavily on GPS guidance, the AGM-158C long-range anti-ship missile uses advanced infrared sensors and an onboard artificial intelligence targeting system to locate and identify enemy ships on its own. Even in heavy electronic warfare environments, the missile can continue tracking and attacking its target. If an enemy attempts to jam the missile's signals, the AGM-158C long-range anti-ship missile continues toward the target independently. And because the missile can be launched from a stealth aircraft like the F-35C Lightning II, enemy forces often have little or no warning before impact. The USS George Washington deployed with F-35C Lightning II aircraft carrying AGM-158C long-range anti-ship missiles during the Talisman Sabre exercises in July 2025. That marked one of the first major demonstrations of this capability during a large multinational exercise involving Australia, the United Kingdom, and Japan. During those operations, American F-35C Lightning II fighters demonstrated the ability to detect, track, and simulate attacks against hostile surface targets while remaining extremely difficult to detect themselves. But the F-35C Lightning II is not simply a strike fighter. It is also one of the most advanced airborne sensor platforms ever built. Its radar systems, infrared search and tracking systems, and electronic warfare suite allow it to detect enemy aircraft and warships long before opposing forces can detect the F-35C. The aircraft can then instantly share that targeting information with other fighter aircraft, destroyers, submarines, and even missiles already in flight. This capability is known as sensor fusion, and it effectively turns every F-35C Lightning II into a flying battlefield command center. China understands how significant this technology is. That is one reason the Chinese military continues pushing to develop more advanced stealth aircraft and naval aviation systems. But the United States Navy already operates the F-35C Lightning II aboard multiple aircraft carriers in the Pacific region, including the USS Carl Vinson, USS Abraham Lincoln, and USS George Washington. That level of integrated stealth strike capability remains unmatched anywhere else in the world, and the platform is still improving. Upcoming upgrades expected in 2026 are planned to allow the F-35C Lightning II to carry 6 internal air-to-air missiles instead of 4, increasing firepower by 50% while still maintaining its stealth profile. That means the aircraft will become even more lethal without sacrificing survivability. Before we continue, take a moment to like the video and subscribe to the channel. More than 98% of viewers watch without subscribing, and supporting the channel helps us continue producing detailed military content like this. RIM-116 Rolling Airframe Missile. Now let's talk about defense, because no matter how powerful an aircraft carrier's offensive weapons are, the ship still has to survive incoming attacks. That is where the RIM-116 Rolling Airframe Missile becomes critical. The RIM-116 Rolling Airframe Missile is one of the United States Navy's primary close-range defensive weapons, designed specifically to destroy incoming anti-ship missiles, drones, helicopters, and other airborne threats before they can strike the carrier. Every modern United States Navy aircraft carrier, from the Nimitz class to the Gerald R. Ford class, is equipped with at least 2 Mk-49 guided missile launching systems. Each launcher carries 21 RIM 116 rolling airframe missiles ready for immediate launch. These missiles are relatively small compared to larger naval interceptors, but they are extremely fast, highly maneuverable, and incredibly effective at short range. What makes the RIM-116 rolling airframe missile especially dangerous is its dual-mode guidance system. First, the missile detects and locks onto the radio frequency emissions coming from an incoming threat. Many anti-ship missiles rely on onboard radar systems to track their targets, and the RIM-116 can home directly toward those radar signals. Then, during the final stage of interception, the missile switches to infrared guidance, allowing it to continue tracking the target even if electronic jamming disrupts radar signals. That means enemy countermeasures often fail to stop it. And there is another unique feature behind the missile's name. The RIM-116 rolling airframe missile literally spins while flying toward its target. That rolling motion stabilizes the missile and allows it to use a lighter and simpler guidance system while maintaining extremely high maneuverability. The result is a missile that is faster to react, cheaper to produce, and highly lethal against fast-moving threats. And this system is not theoretical. During recent combat operations in the Red Sea, United States Navy warships equipped with the RIM-116 rolling airframe missile successfully intercepted multiple hostile drones and cruise missiles launched by Houthi forces. The USS Abraham Lincoln also conducted live-fire exercises involving the RIM-116 system during Pacific operations last year, continuing to validate the weapon's combat effectiveness under real operational conditions. But the carrier's layered defense does not stop there. Aircraft carriers also rely on the Phalanx close-in weapon system, a radar-guided 20mm Gatling gun capable of firing thousands of rounds per minute at incoming threats. If an enemy missile manages to penetrate the outer defensive layer, the Phalanx close-in weapon system becomes the final barrier between the carrier and destruction. Together, the RIM-116 rolling airframe missile and the Phalanx close-in weapon system create a dense defensive shield around the carrier strike group, making it extraordinarily difficult for enemy missiles to get through. The United States Navy continues expanding the use of the RIM-116 system across the fleet, including upgrades on destroyers and other warships, replacing older defensive configurations with additional missile launchers. That tells you exactly how much confidence the Navy has in this weapon. When facing high-speed anti-ship missiles traveling at supersonic speeds, the RIM-116 rolling airframe missile is one of the systems sailors trust most to keep the ship alive. And behind every launch system are sailors constantly training for the moment they may need to use it. Crews run live fire drills, combat simulations, and emergency response exercises year-round to ensure the carrier strike group can react instantly under real combat conditions. That level of preparation, discipline, and coordination is one reason no United States Navy aircraft carrier has ever been sunk in combat by enemy action. Evolved Sea Sparrow Missile Block II. Next up is a weapon that rarely gets public attention, but plays a critical role in protecting United States Navy aircraft carriers. The Evolved Sea Sparrow Missile Block II, commonly known as the ESSM Block II. This is a medium-range defensive missile specifically designed to intercept incoming threats before they get close enough for systems like the RIM-116 rolling airframe missile to engage. The Evolved Sea Sparrow Missile Block II has an operational range of roughly 30 miles and is capable of destroying multiple types of threats, including cruise missiles, hostile aircraft, drones, and anti-ship weapons. What makes the Block II version especially important is its active radar seeker. Earlier versions of the missile relied heavily on the ship's radar to guide them continuously toward the target. The Evolved Sea Sparrow Missile Block II can guide itself during the final phase of flight using its own onboard radar system. That gives the carrier strike group a major advantage. It allows warships to engage multiple incoming threats simultaneously without overwhelming the ship's radar and fire control systems. Aircraft carriers and escort ships equipped with Mk-29 guided missile launching systems can rapidly launch these missiles in all directions, providing near 360-degree defensive coverage around the ship. And the missile was specifically designed to counter one of the most dangerous threats in modern naval warfare: sea-skimming cruise missiles. Many modern Russian and Chinese anti-ship missiles fly extremely low over the ocean surface to reduce radar detection time. The Evolved Sea Sparrow Missile Block II can descend to intercept those threats only a few feet above the water before impact. That low-altitude interception capability is one reason the missile is considered such an important part of layered naval defense. The Evolved Sea Sparrow Missile Block II officially entered operational service in 2020 and is now deployed across multiple NATO navies. That creates another major advantage for the United States and its allies: interoperability. American aircraft carriers, destroyers, and allied warships can share tracking and targeting data in real time across the entire battle network. If a NATO warship detects an incoming missile first, it can instantly transmit that targeting data to another ship, allowing the Evolved Sea Sparrow Missile Block II to launch before the threat even enters visual range. That kind of integrated multinational defense network is something few rival navies can fully match, and the system has proven highly reliable during testing. In live-fire exercises, the Evolved Sea Sparrow Missile Block II has demonstrated an extremely high interception success rate against fast-moving aerial threats. When defending a multi-billion-dollar aircraft carrier carrying thousands of sailors and dozens of advanced aircraft, reliability is absolutely essential. The Evolved Sea Sparrow Missile Block II may not receive the same attention as stealth fighters or hypersonic missiles, but without weapons like this, modern carrier strike groups would be far more vulnerable to attack. FA-18E/F Super Hornet Block III, the backbone of carrier aviation. Finally, let's talk about the aircraft that continues to serve as the backbone of United States Navy carrier aviation: the Boeing FA-18E/F Super Hornet Block III. The Super Hornet has been a core part of naval air power for more than 2 decades, but the Block III version flying today is far more advanced than the aircraft that originally entered service in the early 2000s. This is not simply an older fighter with minor upgrades. The F/A-18E/F Super Hornet Block III has been extensively modernized with new systems that bring it much closer to the capabilities of 5th-generation combat aircraft. The aircraft now features an advanced cockpit display system, upgraded radar technology, improved networking capabilities, reduced radar signature characteristics, and conformal fuel tanks designed to significantly extend operational range. But the real strength of the F/A-18E/F Super Hornet Block 3 comes from the wide variety of weapons it can carry. In addition to the AIM-174B long-range missile discussed earlier, the aircraft can deploy the AIM-120 Advanced Medium-Range Air-to-Air Missile, the AIM-9X Sidewinder, and the Joint Strike Missile. The AIM-120D Advanced Medium-Range Air-to-Air Missile has a range exceeding 100 miles and uses advanced data link technology to receive targeting updates during flight. The AIM-9X Sidewinder is one of the most maneuverable short-range air-to-air missiles ever developed. It can engage targets at extreme angles and track enemy aircraft even outside the pilot's direct forward view. The Joint Strike Missile adds another layer of capability. This stealth cruise missile is designed to strike both land and naval targets from distances greater than 180 miles, while remaining difficult to detect and intercept. What makes the FA-18E/F Super Hornet Block 3 especially valuable is its versatility. The aircraft can perform air superiority missions, close air support, maritime strike operations, electronic warfare, reconnaissance, and aerial refueling. Some Super Hornets are even configured specifically as aerial refueling aircraft, extending the combat range and endurance of other carrier-based fighters during long operations. That means aircraft like the Lockheed Martin F-35C Lightning II can operate farther from the carrier strike group while remaining combat effective for longer periods of time. And despite the growing number of F-35C Lightning II fighters entering service, the United States Navy has made it clear that the F/A-18E/F Super Hornet Block 3 will remain a major part of carrier aviation well into the 2040s. The reason is simple. The aircraft has proven itself repeatedly in real-world operations. It is reliable, combat-tested, flexible, and highly trusted by Navy pilots and maintenance crews alike. During recent combat deployments in the Red Sea, FA-18E/F Super Hornets operating from the USS Dwight D. Eisenhower logged thousands of combat flight hours while conducting air defense missions, drone interceptions, strike operations, and protection for Allied naval forces. That is real operational performance under active combat conditions, not theoretical capability. And the platform continues to evolve. The United States Navy is currently testing additional upgrades for the F/A-18E/F Super Hornet Block 3, including improved electronic warfare systems, expanded networking capabilities, upgraded sensors, and enhanced integration with the Boeing MQ-25 Stingray aerial refueling drone. That integration will allow Super Hornets to operate hundreds of miles farther from the carrier than before, greatly increasing the reach of the entire carrier air wing. Potential adversaries are watching these developments closely, because while many nations continue trying to catch up technologically, the United States Navy is already operating these systems today aboard active carrier strike groups across the Pacific, the Middle East, and other strategic regions around the world. Conclusion. So here is the reality of modern United States Navy carrier power today. The AIM-174B Gunslinger gives carrier-based fighters the ability to strike enemy aircraft from more than 300 miles away. The Lockheed Martin F-35C Lightning II combines stealth technology with advanced long-range strike weapons like the AGM-158C long-range anti-ship missile. The RIM-116 rolling airframe missile protects carriers against incoming cruise missiles, drones, and aerial threats at close range. The evolved Sea Sparrow Missile Block 2 provides another critical defensive layer, intercepting hostile targets farther from the carrier strike group. And the Boeing F/A-18E/F Super Hornet Block 3 continues to serve as one of the most versatile and combat-proven fighter aircraft operating anywhere in the world. These are not experimental concepts or prototype weapons hidden inside research facilities. These are fully operational systems already deployed aboard active United States Navy aircraft carriers operating across the Pacific Ocean, the Mediterranean Sea, and the Red Sea today. Behind every one of these systems are the sailors, pilots, engineers, and crews who train continuously to operate them under real combat conditions. They rehearse emergency procedures, conduct live-fire exercises, study tactical scenarios, and prepare for missions every single day, because technology alone does not make a military powerful. The people operating that technology matter just as much. And that combination of advanced weapons, operational experience, global logistics, and highly trained personnel is what continues to give the United States Navy one of the most capable carrier strike forces in the world. Other nations continue modernizing their fleets and developing new weapons. But carrier warfare is about far more than building large ships. It requires decades of operational knowledge, coordination between air and naval forces, worldwide deployment capability, and the ability to sustain combat operations across multiple regions at the same time. That is where the United States Navy still maintains a major advantage. And as new technologies like autonomous aircraft, directed energy weapons, advanced networking systems, and next-generation missiles continue entering service, the capabilities of these carrier strike groups will only continue to grow. If you enjoyed this video and want more content covering military technology, naval warfare, and advanced defense systems, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Stay informed, stay curious, and thank you for watching.